Hi there. Welcome to That's English.
Today's documentary is about people who are addicted to adrenaline. They like to get a buzz, a strong feeling of excitement from the activities they do.
Like parkour or free running.
You'll hear the word life-affirming, which is when something makes you feel positive about life.
You will also hear the expression agony aunt, someone who advises people about their personal problems in a newspaper or magazine.
As you watch, answer this question. Why do people do extreme sports?
Your throat tightens and your heart races. Your hands go sweaty. There's something exciting about putting ourselves at risk, and adrenaline junkies are addicted to it. Extreme sports are about skill and courage. It's the combination of both danger and risk that makes them exhilarating. But what kind of person would hang 200 feet in the air without a rope and one-handed? Free runners and parkour free climbers are a new type of daredevil. But what exactly is parkour?
Parkour has a different meaning to everybody that does it, I think. And to me, it's completely about kind of pushing myself and becoming the strongest person I can be, like not only physically, but mentally as well. The definition of parkour is the ability to go from one place to another in the most efficient way. So you've got obstacles on the way, or problems on the way, and you learn the most efficient way to get through those obstacles or past those problems.
It developed from military training, and free runners use street furniture and other structures to do amazing acrobatic stunts. It's dangerous, but there is a lot of skill involved.
Parkour has so many different techniques, and it's so important to drill those techniques until they become completely, second nature. And if you don't do that, then the risk goes up a lot.
So why do people risk their lives? Has this got anything to do with adrenaline? Lucy Beresford is a psychotherapist and agony aunt. She tells us more about how adrenaline works.
Adrenaline kicks in when people are either afraid or highly excitable, and it enables the body to have a spurt of energy so that they can either fight the danger or run away from it. When you have a surge of adrenaline, it really does feel like you've got so much energy, and for a lot of people that can give them a real high. It doesn't necessarily last a very long time, and the more you do, the more you might have to do.
There are many different kinds of addiction. Some people are addicted to alcohol. Others are addicted to shopping or to work. But what kind of person is addicted to adrenaline?
The fascinating thing about exploring people who do very extreme sports is that there isn't any one real reason why they all do it. But in general, it can be a life-affirming experience, or it could be that they really do get a great buzz out of doing something risky or something very dangerous.
The only buzzes I get are when I'm really pushing myself and I'm actually really stepping out of my comfort zone. Then there's a bit of a buzz, but I don't do it for the buzz. As a small child, I was very hyper, but also very I kept myself to myself. I wasn't very social, wasn't extremely social. I hated school. I really didn't like school. I didn't think that there was anything, I didn't think it had anything to offer me that I enjoyed. So yeah, I randomly saw an advert on TV. It showed this guy jumping rooftops, and it was just the most insane thing I'd ever seen.
I believe that for a lot of the people who do extreme sports and set themselves extreme challenges, it is partly the mental strength or the challenge of retaining and honing a mental strength, which is part of the attraction. You have to be enormously focused because, of course, very often your life might be completely in danger, and that really concentrates the mind.
Everything in your normal life disappears, and you just get this huge sense of freedom. Just the ability to kind of do what you want and go where you want. There's nothing else like it. It feels a bit like what it would be like to be a superhero.
It's amazing what people do to get an adrenaline rush. I can't imagine hanging 200 feet in the air without a rope, and one-handed.
And I can't imagine doing acrobatic stunts and jumping off high buildings.
So what about the question? Why do people do extreme sports?
The fascinating thing about exploring people who do very extreme sports is that there isn't any one real reason why they all do it. But in general, it can be a life-affirming experience, or it could be that they really do get a great buzz out of doing something risky or something very dangerous.
So, people do extreme sports for different reasons. It can be a life-affirming experience, or you can get a buzz from doing something risky or dangerous.
We asked our international friends, what kind of high-risk activities are popular in your country?
You'll hear people mention activities like bungee jumping, zorbing and kite buggying.
People enjoy shark cage diving. They also like to bungee jump off 270-metre high bridges, and they also like to parachute out of aeroplanes.
There's one called kite buggying, which is I'd never heard of until recently, but you're sort of in a buggy, but you're attached to this very powerful kite and the wind pulls you along the beach. And then there's one called zorbing, which is quite new, where you get inside the plastic ball and you roll down the hill by yourself or sometimes with, I think, 2 of your friends as well. And you can put water in there as well to make it more interesting.
In Canada, some of the high-risk activities is mountain climbing, extreme skiing down the beautiful mountains, and also camping can be a little extreme with all the bears around.
One of the high-risk activities that a lot of young people do in Jamaica is simply driving. They drive like they're mad.
High-risk activities in terms of sports, I'd say motor racing is very popular, whether it's racing in cars or motorbikes, rock climbing, parachuting, bungee jumping. Lots of people I know have done these sorts of activities, so I think we're all quite adrenaline fueled.
High-risk activities in Scotland. Well, it's quite an outdoorsy kind of country, so there's a lot of people do a lot of like mountaineering and biking and climbing up rocks. I haven't, but there's a lot of Scottish people are quite brave and they'll do a lot of crazy stuff.
Imagine doing shark cage diving with a shark only inches away.
And would you get inside a plastic ball with 2 of your friends and roll down a hill?
Some people are just crazy. Now it's time to watch That's Britain.
Today, Alex visits Nottingham, a city in the East Midlands.
Nottingham is famous for its links to Robin Hood, the world's most famous outlaw. An outlaw is someone who lives outside the law.
You'll see a very old oak tree where Robin Hood is supposed to have lived.
As you watch, answer this question. Why is Robin Hood so popular?
Welcome to Nottingham. I'm here in the Old Market Square in the heart of the city. This is the largest pedestrian city square in the UK, and it's often used for local events like fairs, concerts and exhibitions.
Nottingham is quite a small city, but it has some very fine buildings.
This is the Council House. It's an impressive building in neo-Baroque style. Now, the famous bell in the dome marks the hour and is called Little John. It's got the deepest tone in the country, and they say it can be heard 7 miles away. But the real reason for my visit to Nottingham is to find out about the city's famous, legendary folk hero. Yes, I'm talking about this courageous man who risked his life time and time again to help others, Robin Hood. And nobody knows more about him than Nottingham's Robin Hood expert, Aid. Aid, what can you tell us about the relationship between Robin Hood and Nottingham?
Well, Nottingham is very lucky because there aren't many cities in the world which have such a famous character as Robin Hood on the world stage.
And why does everybody love the figure of Robin Hood?
Well, Robin Hood is a champion of the human ideals of hope, charity, justice, freedom, and this is why everyone loves Robin Hood.
Now, Ed, I've got to ask, did Robin Hood really exist, or is he just a legend?
The fact of the matter is, there wasn't one Robin Hood, there was many Robin Hoods, and he's evolved over time to become this symbol of hope in the people's imagination.
Now, Aid, I know Nottingham has a very old inn, which is a kind of pub, and like several others, it claims to be the oldest in England. So shall we go and have a drink there?
Hurrah!
Well, I'm about 30 minutes outside of the city centre in the secret hideout of our hero and his band of outlaws, Sherwood Forest. And I'm here with Laura, who's a member of the Forest Bowmen. Laura, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us, why are we standing here? And I believe this magnificent tree behind us has a history, doesn't it?
Yes, this is the major oak. It's about 800 to 1,000 years old, and in medieval times it's said to have been the place that Robin Hood met and camped and made plans here. It weighs about 23 tonnes and is about 10 metres around the middle.
So that's quite big.
Quite impressive.
So did Robin Hood really live here most of his adult life? Because Nottingham's quite far away.
Well, Robin Hood's a legend, so we're not quite sure where he lived. We're about 17 miles north of Nottingham. I'd like to think that Robin Hood could have made that journey on horseback quite easily, but Sherwood in those days would have been very different then, and the main road from London to York would have run through Sherwood at that time.
Now, you've got your bow with you now, but you're going to show me some archery now, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Brilliant, let's go and have a look.
Now you want one finger above the arrow, two fingers just below. Now put your right arm out straight, keep your left arm shoulder height and pull all the way back to the corner of your mouth and shoot.
I was aiming for the other board.
Okay, arrow on the bow, fingers on the string, your right arm out straight, good hard pull. Bullseye! Yes! Well done.
Oh, wow. Well, that's all we've got time for here in Nottingham. Join me next time when I'm back in the Lake District. Bye for now.
Well, archery looks quite easy.
Yes, Alex is pretty good with a bow and arrow. What about the question? Why is Robin Hood so popular?
Well, Robin Hood is a champion of the human ideals of hope, charity, justice, freedom.
So Robin Hood represents hope, charity, justice and freedom.
He's a hero who risked his life to help the poor. And that's why the Robin Hood legend has been popular for centuries.
Well, that's all we've got time for. We hope you enjoyed the programme.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.